Hey, YouTuber friends, how are you guys doing today? Well, here we are. We're going to have some more fun with our RV, some more upgrade fun. But of course, when I do these upgrades, what's the one thing I always tell you? We're going to learn together. I am not an expert, okay? So here's what's going on. One of the design problems, flaws, or whatever you want to call it, with the Coleman 17B that I don't like. Now, we love our Coleman just fine, but you know, it's a basic introductory bare bones kind of RV, so they didn't go to a lot of trouble to make it really nice, okay? And one of the things that they did that could be fixed easily, and in fact with the new 17R they have fixed this problem, but still not with the 17Bs, and that is the fact that while this little RV has 3 electrical outlets, which is kind of great for one this size, they are all grouped right together in an almost unusable fashion. I'll show you. They're all 3 of them are right here by the door. We got this one here, we got this one over here, and we got another one up for the television. They're right there together, and so I mean, yeah, you could put a coffee pot or something right here. I don't know what you're supposed to do with that thing down there. A lot of people use that. They put one of those adapters in and they charge their phones down there at the end of the bed. But there really needs to be one on the other side of the RV. And that's what we're going to endeavor to correct today. Now, another one of the shortcomings about these outlets they have right here, unless you're plugged in to a shoreline, they don't work. Even the ones that I have that have a USB plugged into it, they don't work at all unless you either have solar and an inverter or a generator or something like that hooked up, or you're plugged into a shoreline. If you're stopped somewhere for lunch and you're boondocking or something like that, and you want to work on, say, videos, all right, you don't have electricity in the RV here at all. Okay, even something that I could plug a little inverter into and run my computer. So today we're going to endeavor to correct that. We're going to install a couple of at least the 12 volt type of cigarette lighter outlets on this side of the RV, so that someone can sit here at the banquet, at the dining table here, and have some kind of electricity. Either plug in a USB and recharge your phone. Leave your phone on the table. It seems like a perfect idea to me. Or work on your phone and have power. Or I'm going to have one of the ones that you can plug a little handheld inverter in and put it in like that, and then I'll have 110 AC there if we need it. That's what we're going to do today. Now, we have several options. I don't know which one we're going to take. I could plug into some power that's already kind of in that area. I could run it from a power junction connector box kind of thing that's down underneath. There's a lot of stuff I can do. And while wiring in a house, putting in outlets and stuff, I've done a lot. We've remodeled an older house that frankly didn't have very many outlets in the rooms, none in the hallway, things like that. This is an older house that people never even dreamed that you might want to watch your television in the bedroom, so I had to put an outlet in there. I can do that all day. But, you know, running wires through the walls of the RV and stuff like that, that's something pretty new to me, or rather unknown to me. So what's going to happen today is we're going to try to put an outlet over here on this side. Now, without one being there, I've seen people try to solve the problem like this, and also, even, I don't know which is worse, like this. Okay, we're not going to be doing that. We're going to actually put some kind of outlet over here on this side so we don't have that kind of problem. All right, let's get to it, see what happens. Remember, I'm not an expert. I'm just somebody trying to learn and share what I learned with you. Okay, here we go. Okay, if you've watched any of our earlier videos, you probably saw me talking about how much I don't care for the AM FM radio that the older models put in there up until what, 2022, I guess. an AM/FM radio. Why don't you just go ahead and put an 8-track in there while you're at it, as far as I'm concerned. But I thought that was kind of silly. Well, they've discontinued it ever since then. I guess they saw my video. I don't know. But now it's going to come in handy for me, because it's going to serve as an electrical connection on the left side of the RV that maybe I can tie into. Okay. I think it's just a 12-volt thing, and so we're just going to see how that goes. I've got lots of options on how I can do this. All right, like I said, if this was a house, I'd have even more. One of the places where I really wanted the outlet to be was right here, underneath the window here, right there by the table. I thought that'd been real handy. Well, wiring from below or from the actual electrical circuit box there, that thing, all that stuff through, that was just going to be hard because of that window. If it weren't for the window, I think I could just drop it down from inside of here, and I could have done it right there. It could have been easy. But the window's making me have to go all kinds of directions, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. Now, the other option, the one that I might do, is going to be to simply hook up a 12-volt cigarette lighter kind of thing, or a couple of them actually. One set up just for USB, and the other one set up for like a cigarette lighter that I can plug a little inverter in, and put it here. I was going to go in here on the side of the radio, and then I was going to put these electrical outlets in any number of places. I could put them right to the side right here. I could put them down underneath here. I could put them here. Lots of places I could put them. I just got to decide which is the best. I'll go in through this wall here, tie into some 12-volt right there, run those 2 cigarette lighter things, boom, bada boom. That's going to be the easiest way to go. Another way I could go, of course, would be there's that electrical connection panel right down underneath, and I could run there and come up and put it maybe, say here, you know, right there on the side, or anywhere I wanted to, really. I could possibly run from here straight down and come out the wall underneath here, you see, and then put the outlets right down here, and they'll kind of be out of the way, and I could plug into it, but you kind of have to kind of crawl around down there to get to them. I don't know. I'm going to look at things, whatever's the easiest and it's going to work. That's what I'm going to do. I could just stick them right here, right on the side of the walls, right there, plug in. I could plug in right there, work the computer, or run a fan or a lamp or whatever I need to right there without any problems. And so I got options. Once I get inside here, I'll be able to tell more what I'm going to do. Okay, so let's get kind of set up for that. First things first, here are the outlets I'm going to be putting in. One of them is already set up to be just like a cigarette lighter type outlet. I can plug whatever I want to into there, and you can kind of see how that goes, just like that. Okay, and then the other one will be a full-time USB type of outlet. See that? And they'll be right side by side, and we'll put them in. Now the question is, these things are kind of deep. If I try to put them in the side wall, is that too deep? It's going to be, you know, poking those electrical connectors into my aluminum on the outside or something like that. Well, I may drill a hole inside the cabinet and see how that's going to work, and then maybe I can put them down here on the side or something. We'll see. Okay. All right, that's step number one. All right, I'm going to get into this cabinet right here. Probably the first thing you'll notice taking this apart, if you're doing it, is the fact that the screws look funny. You'll notice that it's not like a Robertson square drive type of screw head. It's also not a Phillips. It's kind of a combination of that. There's a name for it. It's called a Quadrex, and it's just a combination of square head or Phillips. You can kind of use either one in there, or they actually make Quadrex bits that go in there. Now, you'll see these a lot in cabinets. If you go to IKEA and get some cabinets that are put together, they'll either be put together with a square head or a quadrex, or in the case of IKEA, more likely with an Allen wrench. If you go to somewhere like some of these discount furniture surplus type places, you'll probably find the quadrex or the square head drive type of screws. The story is that when Robertson was coming up with the square drive instead of the regular flat type screwdriver, which nobody liked because it would slip out, you know, he tried to sell them to Henry Ford. Henry Ford had problems with buying components overseas, and so he declined and went with the Phillips head, and pretty much everywhere else in the world went to the Robertson square head, even in Canada. Well, now that this square head or combination square head Phillips is kind of coming into the United States because so many places are shipping to the United States now, these cabinet kits and things like that. So all right, so that's the first thing you're going to notice. I'm going to go ahead and take out this panel and see what's underneath it. I have square head drives and quadrex drives, but I just used a plain old everyday Phillips. That worked just fine. Okay, what do we see in here? We see a lot of wires. That orange, that's an antenna for the radio. And typically on RVs, I'm going to check it, don't trust it yet. On RVs, those green wires are your power connection wires, the green and the white. Sometimes you'll have a wire that's green or that's white with a green stripe on it, or sometimes you'll have green wires and white wires. So we're going to check that out and see if that's the 12 volt power that we need. We'll just see, okay? Okay, here's today's safety briefing. Anytime you are working on electrical in an RV, have all the power shut off to the unit. Don't think, well, I can sneak by, I can wire this hot, I've done this in my house, or I've done this, you know, on other projects, and I can do it. No, don't do it. Now, what I had to do in order to find out which wires were indeed the 12 volt power that I needed was I carefully took the wire nut off of the white one and I taped it to the wall, to the bulkhead here, so it wouldn't be moving around. Then I did the same thing to the green one. The problem with the wires in your RVs, you're always going to be kind of working in cramped spaces, and when you touch one of these, it's going to want to move one of the other ones around, and something's going to touch something it shouldn't. All right, so stabilize it, and I put my meter on it, got the 12 volts that I needed, actually about 13, perfect. I was ready to go. Then I went outside and turned off all the power to the unit, including the shoreline power. Now, theoretically, this is just 12 volt power. It shouldn't be any of the 120 or anything like that, but I'm not going to take any chances because I didn't blow a fuse doing this today, but I did about a year ago while working on that outside porch light thing that I put on. In fact, I blew 3 fuses. I was stupid. I kept doing it. I thought, I can do it. Nah, don't do it. As soon as you get any exposed wires, disconnect all electrical to the RV. It'll save you fuses, and it'll save you, you know, from cursing in front of your kids or something, you know, saying bad words. So just don't work on electrical, because these things kind of just come alive and start just moving all over the place. They really do. So be careful. Right now, I don't have any power at all going to these things. I can touch them safely. I've already tested them. So we're going to go ahead and figure out what we're going to do. Okay, I've decided that I am not going to drill a big hole in the wall inside this cabinet and then go down and try to drill a hole out. I just don't want to take the chance on accidentally drilling a little hole through my aluminum siding outside or anything like that. So now the question becomes, where am I going to put these outlets? All right, now I can put them right here, underneath here. That might be a good place. Or I can put them here, and then that'll kind of look nice, or here, or even here. I can put them all over the place. What do you think? Where do you think I should put these things? Wherever I put them, there will be a wire hanging down to the computer or the phone or whatever at some point. It's not going to be as nice as it would be if it were right there by, by the table underneath that window. But it's going to be a lot better than having something draped across, okay? So I'm wondering what to do. If I'm sitting down on the bench working on something and I decide I want to reach up and plug something in right here, I think that'll be pretty handy. Plus I can move it far enough back to where the wire's not in my way or anybody else's way. What do you think? Underneath here? That's what I'm thinking. Man, they sure would look nice up here though, in one of these spots. Okay, well, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to put them down here, and that way any wires that hang down will really be out of the way, and we'll just see what happens, okay? All right, here we go. Okay, I drilled a couple of holes up there. I wanted them far enough apart where if I stuck a couple of devices like those small inverters or something like that up there, they wouldn't interfere with each other, and I tried to kind of center them on the space to make it look symmetrical and far enough from the wall to make it so there was plenty of room for whatever I plugged in there, as well as far enough close to the walls to make sure I didn't drill into the bottom of the radio, and or I would have room to work and mount these things without having to worry about the radio being close to it. So there we go. I did that, and so I look like this now. I got sawdust all over me, so there you go. All right, anyway, there. Okay, next step. Exactly as I had anticipated, my 1-inch spade bit was just a little too small for the outlets to go in, and anything larger would have been way too big. So I had to do this a little bit. Get it kind of sand it out, and that should take care of it. Okay, something I hadn't anticipated was there being a 1/2-inch floor on there with the up there, so I had to drill that out too. All right, no big deal. It's critically important that you get the polarity right. Be sure to put the plus and the minus, the red and the black in the right place. Okay, I've got everything hooked up, all the reds and those greens and whites and all that type of stuff. The solid whites are going to the black, the green ones are going to the red. I've got it all hooked together with wire nuts, good wire nuts, and the wire nuts are taped with electrician's tape around them to help secure them. Most of my life never thought about really doing that, but a lot of the real electricians on the internet say, yeah, wrap that around there, that'd be good. Okay, so there you go, all wrapped up with electrician's tape and wire nuts, and should be ready to demonstrate and test in just a few minutes. And here's an old lamp from my garage I use for a work light, and look at that, it's running off of the battery. Now it's it's not going to last real long, but it'll last a while, right? I mean, and I can certainly, if the battery on my computer is dead and I need to send something, and I'm sitting in the parking lot of a grocery store that happens to have Wi-Fi out in the middle of the West Texas desert, true story, I can now do whatever I need to do on my computer. I can post a video. And so we have, just sitting here boondocking, we have AC. Just that easy. That was a quick and easy way to do it. These things cost me about 30 bucks for 3 of them actually. And, but I've had this thing for years, so we use it all the time. So there you go. I now have power on both sides of my Coleman 17B, and even to include alternating current when I am sitting parked out in the middle of the desert or somewhere. So how about that? I hope you enjoy this. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. That means a lot to all of us, okay? All right, thanks a lot. See you down the road. Remember, I'm not an expert.